Cairo, capital of Egypt, once threatened by Rommel's guns, still stands. There were forces at work within her gates as modern as a walkie-talkie. There were men who knew the meaning of a battle of nerves and used every trick of modern psychology to destroy the Nazi will to fight. At the OSS headquarters, more men are needed for morale operations. Qualified officers, enlisted men, and civilians have to be trained in political warfare. Some will be in combat teams, others given special jobs in occupied countries, and still others assigned to missions, such as with the Yugoslav partisans. Each applicant must be carefully appraised, whether British, American, French, Greek, or Pole. Security is an important word to these men, to all men engaged in OSS activity. A board of admittance, composed of a British brigadier, an American colonel, and a British colonel, carefully assesses the applicants for this type of warfare. They're given every opportunity to reveal their qualifications. Once accepted and secured, they are registered as students and sent to the PWE camp in the heart of Pharaoh's land. In contrast to Pharaoh's camel-borne caravans of old, an American jeep kicks up the desert sand. An officer takes the students along the famous Mina Road to the camp which will be both home and school. This is the Egypt known to sightseers from all over the world. Palm groves rising majestically out of the Nile Valley. The same fertile soil that fed Egyptian civilization thousands of years before Christ. The same valley where the great pyramids were built, seemingly to outlast time itself. A road sign ahead offers another contrast between the new and the old. There can be no doubt about direction. Road information is repeated in 3 languages. The Sphinx has long withstood the ravages of time, but something new has been added to the riddle of the ages. She has a chin support, sandbags, nothing fancy intended in the way of beauty culture, merely protection against night raiders. She is flanked, moreover, by pyramids that stand like eternal sentinels. The Mina House is an up-to-date hotel near the PWE camp. In the past, visitors stopped here to see the spot where the 3 wise men of the East tarried on their pilgrimage to the Prince of Peace. In the future, travelers will also visit the site because Roosevelt, Churchill, and Chiang Kai-shek met here to secure and guarantee that peace. Only a short distance beyond the hotel is the training center where picked men are preparing to carry out their orders. The camp presents a panoramic picture of rolling stretches of sand dotted with tents and wooden huts. To the students, this represents something more than an historical area. This is their proving ground. They must take the training in stride and master their studies. They were chosen because their superiors found them above the average, and they are determined to come through with flying colors. Each of the students learns his assignment and what is expected of him. The commandant and chief instructor make clear that they will be thoroughly grounded in a study of the Balkans. Study groups, called syndicates, are formed, specializing in one certain country of the Balkans and generalizing in all. Home, sweet home, a single without a bath. This man may be either a civilian or a soldier. Civilians wear uniforms while at school and when working with operational or combat teams in the field. At all times, they are given the courtesies and the responsibilities of a junior officer. The training period ahead will be tough, rugged work. A little shut-eye is always good. Tomorrow it will seem twice as good. A sound mind in a sound body is an old adage and means a lot to these men who wage a specialized type of warfare. At first they take the easy exercises to limber up the old carcass. Later they will get the kind of routine that tempers and hardens the muscles and makes them ready for close combat. Then there is a brisk run to whet the appetite or to produce groans in every key. But a spirit of good sportsmanship is the rule, and that's what counts for the teamwork ahead. The study course is geared high with plenty of compression. It is important that the men have a thorough understanding of the ethics, geography, and economics of the Balkans. They've got to know the mechanics of Balkan politics and history, past and present. They've got to know not only the Balkans, but a particular country of the Balkans, and a specific area in that country. Study maps of the individual countries are supplemented by pictures of their principal cities. For those who were never in the countries to which they were assigned, there are views of the countryside and such terrain as may be used for future operations. Nor are the inhabitants overlooked. Local types are examined and analyzed as to their habits, customs, and peculiarities. Language courses are an essential part of PWE MO training. The daily hour and a half devoted to this study has been found to pay rich dividends. The student freshens up on languages he already knows, or learns the common phrases of the country in which he will operate. The students soon discover that in the study of languages they have been storing up live ammunition. They learn all about the explosive power of words when skillfully combined. They prepare their own leaflets from start to finish, and then display them at a critique. These men become extremely adept at composing propaganda leaflets that command attention for their seemingly honest, clear, and persuasive reasoning. For the man or combat team, whose only address will be somewhere in the Balkans, leaflet writing presents another problem: how to get the message down on paper. Provision for this is the portable hand press. The student is taught typesetting and printing, not with the idea of becoming an expert, but to enable him to set up and print a leaflet without outside help. He learns the art of layout, what to set up in boldface type to attract the eye, and how to box his material to make it most readable. In short, he becomes fully acquainted with the power of the press, and he learns to wield this power with a sure hand. The spoken word comes in for its share of attention. In 1939, the Nazis dominated the airwaves with a vengeance. That is why PWE MO students today cover every angle of radio monitoring. Enemy propaganda is quickly dissected. Working under a group leader, one man takes down the broadcast in shorthand, while another locates points on the map as they are mentioned. Immediately following this enemy blast, steps are taken to counteract it. This calls for instruction in microphone technique. Mic fright has to be transformed into mic appeal. A radio expert stands nearby to help the novice achieve the proper phrasing, accent, and volume control. The practice broadcast is delivered before an audience so that the student can develop the required poise. Before he is through, he will be able to step up to a mic with confidence, no matter what the situation may be. And on the day when a trained man is needed to broadcast over one of the many freedom stations beamed to enemy areas, or to take over an emergency broadcast in a newly liberated country, he will be ready. To prepare for operational work in places recently evacuated by the enemy, the men are shown the technique of interrogation. Volunteers to play the part of the native to be interrogated are often found among students who have been in countries where others will soon be operating. Instructors familiar with the temperament of local populations guide the questioning along channels which will elicit important information without arousing fear. An intimidated subject is apt to color a story, although there are ways to determine whether or not the truth is being told. The prime purpose is to get complete information as quickly as possible. Areas are pinpointed as to their military and political complexion. This instruction is exacting but never allowed to be set in fixed molds. Methods are kept in a fluid state. The men are encouraged to make their own evaluation of operational problems. Heated discussions frequently occur on the pro and con of hypothetical incidents. A Balkan town is set as the scene of a newly evacuated area. A board occupies the head table in what may be the town hall, and on either side, students portraying townspeople argue point by point the issues of a liberated community. Transportation is a real problem for field combat teams when the operation of any vehicle at hand may mean the difference between success and failure. Members of the syndicates are made familiar with a great variety of foreign vehicles. They learn to make emergency repairs and to master the complexities of different gear shifts. Before long, they can take them apart and put them together again to meet any emergency. Motorcycle riding is a study as serious in purpose as any other, but the men usually regard it as an exciting interlude. No one begrudges them their fun. There is opportunity for concentrated study in the very complete reference library. The shelves are stocked with intelligence reports, books, and pamphlets. Students drop in to compare notes and to examine the latest publications on the Balkans and such subjects as radio, propaganda writing, and enemy psychology. Mess is always a scene of easy sociability. Men wearing the varied uniforms of many different armies enjoy the evening meal in happy surroundings. They derive much amusement, and incidentally a good deal of useful information, from pointing up differences of thought and feeling among the various nationality groups. The atmosphere is generally informal, but British regimental custom of not smoking until the commandant lights up is maintained. It is not all work. Chess and bridge are favorite pastimes in the lounge. Darts is a good game at any time, but for these target-minded students, striking a high-scoring area is a symbolic triumph, to say nothing of picking up a bob or two. Thus the story of men preparing to wage war with words. Early next morning and every morning thereafter, reports of current intelligence will arrive from Cairo by motorcycle courier. These last-minute reports come from agents operating in occupied countries as well as in neutral capitals. They reveal where the cracks are beginning to appear in the enemy mind. Daily painstaking analysis of this intelligence gradually shapes up as a PWE MO target. Soon ammunition, PWE style, will find its mark in a barrage of radio warnings. Forcefully delivered, soberly absorbed. Leaflets dropped from bomb bays. Packed into shell casings and fired into enemy areas. Natives spreading PWE-inspired rumors that awaken and fortify the fighting spirit. Trained operatives themselves penetrating deep into enemy strongholds.